Oh, welcome to Daf,
Yud Ches,
which in English is,
18,
which is
which is
Chai.
Chai.
Chai. Why is it called Chai? Why is Yud Chet supposed to associate with life?
Why?
I'm asking if you know. What does
No.
18 have to do with life?
No one really know.
I mean, it's the gematria of Chai. But does it have any deeper meaning?
Yes.
I think it does.
Do you?
I can't tell you the secrets.
Oh.
Sorry. It's only for me to know, for you to wonder.
Okay.
Well, my wife said she saw you
I
at
guess
this
I'll have to live with it.
at this thing. She took my kids to this merry-go-round. I don't know
yes.
where they were.
It was a lot of
She
fun.
said she saw your wife there, and I think you even made an appearance
I
there.
was there. That's where I was all this time. Where I think I was.
You said you were in the house watching the kids.
No. I was watching the kids, and then I had to take them to the.
Well, what is this thing? A merry-go-round or something?
No, last year they had merry-go-rounds. This year it's just basically these, what do you call them? I don't know what they call them in English. These inflatable, inflatable
Slides.
and all these things for kids.
Did you go down, Shmuel?
I didn't play. No, it's for kids, but they like it. They enjoyed it. Then they had free free cotton candy, free this, free that, free.
You said hi to my wife?
I don't know who your wife is. I really have no clue.
Yeah, she said she saw you there.
Okay, she saw me there. I guess I saw her. I don't know where she was with her kids.
With my kids.
They were all good
there.
women. Also, almost everybody was.
So you don't speak to women, Shmuel?
Was female. Let me start the Masechah.
All right, let's go. Tashma, the bottom of Yud base. Succah ben Nesarin shal Eresh Yeshbo. Well, here we're talking about. We had two different versions of whether Schach Pasal is posal with Dalid Tfachim or Dalid Amos in the middle. Tashma, Succah ben Nesarin shal Eresh Yesh ben Dalid Devrei Kol Psula. If you use cedar boards, which are 4 Tfachim wide, everyone agrees this Pasal. Ein behen Dalid, right? Mayor post of Rehuda Machshir. This is Bryce was brought earlier on Daf Yomi. The mayor apostles, because of Xeris Tikra and Rehuda Machshir. Moder Mayor Shemiesh ben Nesel and Nesser Kamo Nesser Sheminiah Pesel B'nei and Ukshera. That Mayor's Moda in a case, even if the boards are Pasal Xeris Tikra, if you put even if they're 4 Tfachim, if you put kosher schach in between them, it's kosher. Bishlam Mandamar Bim Be'emza Bim Minasar B'Dalet Amos Mishum Hachi Kshera. Therefore, if you hold that, like the second in Rav in the second version, then you need 4 Amos apostle in the middle, and it's kosher if you have 4 Tfachim board, even though it's apostle for schach, but you need 4 Amos apostles, so it should be kshera. Elamand Amar Emsa Barba, Mike Kshera, why should it be kosher before Tfachim? 4 Tfachim is possible. Amar Rahuna Breder of Yishuach Basukkah Delhavia Lishmona Amos Mitzimtzamos Askina. V'yoyiv Nesero Pesel. V'nesero Pesel, V'nesero Pesel, Mahagisa, V'nesero Pesel, V'nesero Pesel, V'nesero Pesel, Mahagisa. The Havalush Nepsalan Be'emsa, V'ika Hechsher Sukkah Be'emsa. We're talking about a unique case. Over here, this Brisa, where we discussed before, where you have exactly 8 Amos. 8 Amos converted into Tfachim is 48. 6 times 8 is 48 Tfachim. So you have 24 Tfachim on each side. You start off with the wooden board, which is Pashal Gzeir's Tikra. And then you put kosher schach. Then you put a board, kosher schach, board, kosher schach, right? And you end up with 24 tefachim on one side, 24 tefachim on the other side. In the middle, you have 8 tefachim of kosher schach together, and all you need for a kosher sukkah is 7 tefachim by 7 tefachim. So you have your kosher sukkah in the middle. And the problem with the sideboards are ruled out because of dofen akuma, because they're close to the walls, within 4 amos of the walls. Vika hechsher sukkah be'ems. Amar Abaye, Aver new sukkah. Aver shloshah b'sukkah gedola miyato. Let's say we know Aver apostles with 3 tefachim. Let's say miyato ben mekanim ben b'shvud and heavy miyud. If you have a big sukkah and you want to limit the airspace, you want to decrease it so it'll be a kosher sukkah, you can use even pasal schach or kosher schach, and it would work to negate the psul of Aver gimel tefachim. The Sukkah Ktana b'kanim heavy miyud b'shvudin lo heavy miyud. If it's Sukkah Ktana, it's exactly zayin tefachim by zayin tefachim, and you have airspace of 3 tefachim. You have to use kosher schach to close it up, and you can't use metal rods. Hani mili minasad. This whole thing here, we said we're closing it up. The 3 tefachim airspace gap is only from the side, only when it's on the side of the sukkah of the emsa. Let's say, do we say lavud to close up less than 3 tefachim to close it up in the middle? Pligi bar Rav Acha Ravina. Chad amar yesh lavud be'emsa. One Amora holds there is lavud in the middle of the roof. The Chad amar, not just from the side. The Chad amar ain't lavud be'emsa. And one Mandamar holds there's no heter of lavud to close up the 3 tefachim in the middle. My time with the Mandamar yesh lavud be'emsa. Where does he get his reasoning from? Desanya Korah Yotze Mikosel Zev and no gas Bekosel Achar. We're talking about Hilchos Mavoy over here. You have a Korah which matters a Mavoy, the beam across the entrance of it. So if part of it comes from one coast of one wall and doesn't reach the other wall, well, half of the beam comes from one wall, half of the beam comes from the other wall. But they don't touch each other. If there's less than 3 tefachim, so we say lava and it closes it up. You don't have to bring another korah. If it's 3 tefachim, you don't have lava anymore. Then you have to finish it off and put the beam in the middle to fix it up. So you see over here that there is lava be'emsa by Eruvin. The other mandamar holds there is no lava be'emsa. What would you say to this proof? Shiny korahs there are bun. Korahs is only there are bun. Here we're talking about sukkah, schach, which is no raisa. My time on demand, Amar Ein Lava B'Emsa. The one who says there's no Lava B'Emsa, where does he get his reasoning from? This Nan, a Mishnah says Aruba Shva Bayis. Let's say you have what is it? Aruba called?
Aruba. Skylight.
Aruba.
Sky.
Where's Aruba?
Aruba.
Where is Aruba?
Aruba.
It's a country, no?
Oh yeah.
You didn't know that? It's a famous destination for travelers.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the Caribbean.
Really? Aruba. What does it
Aruba.
mean? I guess it means something.
I think it's owned by England, I think. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, so Aruba, if you have a skylight, show a bias, that's in a house. If the skylight is tefach wide, tuma bias, and you have tuma, you have a tummy mace in the house, kulo tame. So the whole house becomes tummy. Anything in the house, any kelim in the house become tummy from this mace. Masha keneged aruba tor. But if you had a kli underneath this skylight, so that it would be tor, because therefore there's no oil on top of it. Tuma keneged aruba. Let's say the actual mace was underneath the skylight. Kol abayis kulo tor. There's no oil at all, and therefore anything in the house is considered tor. Then where the Bryce is going to continue the same din, even if it's less than a tefach. Ein ba'aruba posei tefach. Even if the aruba is not a tefach, tuma b'bayis keneged aruba tar. Tuma, if the tuma is in the house, underneath the skylight is tar. Tuma keneged aruba kol b'bayis kula tar. So you see what? You see that there's no love of emsa. Here we're dealing with a tefach or less than a tefach. It doesn't close it off. If we close it off, then the whole house would be tameh. Even what is connected to aruba, what underneath the skylight should become tameh, because the whole house should act as one big oil and should transmit tumah to anything in the house. The fact that it doesn't transmit to underneath the aruba, and especially if the tumah is actually underneath the aruba, underneath the skylight, it doesn't act as an oil. We see there's no love of be'emsa. What the other one says yesh love be'emsa. Shiny hilchos tumah the haki gmir lehu. That's halakha l'shmei Sinai. We can't learn from that. That's just what the halakas are over there. Darash Rabbi Yehuda Bar Ilai, Bayish Nifkas V'Sichach Al Gaba. Our case in our Mishnah, so you had a house which part of the roof caved in, and you put schach on top of it. Kshera, it's kosher. Amar Lafana Rabbi Shmuel, but Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Parish. He said, Rabbi, you have to explain yourself. Kach Pir Yashava. My father explained. Rabbi Yossi explained. Arba Amos Psula Pachos Arba Amos Kshera. It's only if it's 4 Amos. If it's less than 4 Amos, then it's kosher. If it's 4 Amos, then it's pasul. As it can't be dofen akuma. Darash Yehuda Bar Ilai, a similar thing happened. He taught something. Avruma shari, a type of fish called avruma, is mutter to eat. Let's call it herring, right? What's your favorite herring color? Herring flavor.
Herring flavor? I like schmaltz. You like schmaltz?
Schmaltz herring is good, yeah.
We were just talking about it with somebody.
Stieglitz, you like Stieglitz?
Stieglitz is good, but that's with the mayonnaise. How do you know?
Cream sauce, yeah? Sure, I know my herring, yeah.
How do you know your herring?
I love herring. Really? I like herring, yeah.
Herring is
It's cheap. You know, herring is cheaper than tuna. Much cheaper than tuna.
Really?
In fact, yeah.
What is a herring? It's a big fish.
It's a fish.
I know it's fish, but like it's a sardine or it's a little fish. No, it's big, right?
It's a bigger fish. It's not so small.
They asked
Cheap
the Rebbe,
fish. Yeah.
the Chassid asked the Rebbe why, the Rebbe, why is the seawater, sea so salty? So the Rebbe said it's simple because of all the herring in the ocean.
Oh wow! I have to
You
go.
like
I have
that
to go to this Rebbe. He probably had a lot of herring. Instead of giving out the chal, then you give the herring. You got to become a chassid of
Herring
his.
is very expensive here. You buy a little.
I know it's crazy. The markup on herring is crazy over here. I mean,
I once read somewhere that they don't. There's not such a big demand for herring. That's why the price. They don't. It's not like a it's not a fish that a lot of popular fish, so it doesn't have such a big market.
I think Eoli's they charge what is it like 20 shekel for a little small jar of herring?
For sure.
They say I think per pound it goes for like I don't know per ounce maybe it's like 10 cents an ounce. I don't know. It's very cheap this stuff.
What
Herring?
fish?
Yeah, the herring actual
Where
fish.
You have to buy it wholesale. Then you could get it good.
Here in the Makola, Israeli style, they basically take a whole fish and they put it, you know, the whole piece of herring. You have to cut it up yourself. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Only Israelis do that. I don't know what they're eating over here. I want to go to America, go to Gourmet Galata, and they have their 35 different flavors of herring. You know, I was in America a couple years ago, and Gourmet Galata, they put out like crackers. You know, like Thursday night they put out crackers and a lot of tips of herring or whatever.
You're joking.
So there was a big guy who came over there, you know, a big fat guy, whatever. And he comes over and he's like, I know you guys are all tasting all this herring. It's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. You know, so whatever. We took a couple crackers. We tasted a couple things. We left. Then after we leave, we see the big fat guy. He goes over and he's taking all the herring. He wanted it all for himself. The guy's telling, yeah, what do you do all this herring? The guy wanted it all for himself. That guy had a dinner out of the herring.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
So
he said Avruma Sharia. Amar Lefana Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Parish. Tell exactly. You have to explain yourself. Kachamar Abba. My father said Shalmakum Ploni Asura Shalmakum Ploni Muteres. From this place the herring is kosher. From this place the herring is mutter. Ki Adam Rabbi Hai Sachanta de Bav Nahara Sharia. The Sachanta. Let's call it let's give another name to the fish. What fish we take?
Perch. Let's call it.
Perch.
I don't know. Just make up a name.
Tuna. There's different types of tuna. Sachanta the Bav Nahara Shari. In my time, in this place, Bav Nahara, it's kosher. Because the water flows very swiftly, very fast. Non-kosher fish, they don't have a spinal cord apparently. So lomatzi koim, it can't withstand that water. We see that it's not true, even though without the spinal cord, they're able to withstand the water. Like you said, the water is very salty. The high dog tummy can lace like kilpi. Lomatzi kai doesn't have scales, so it can't live there because the salt will dry it out. We see it does live in such salty water. Because the bottom of the ocean, the bottom of the soil on the ocean doesn't allow for non-kosher fish to grow. Amar Ravina va'idan the shafni araitam and argam the lahasam araitam and argam the flow into the narbav also asira, because those are places where the actual soil and the water is conducive to the growth of non-kosher fish. You have to be sure when you get your tuna, is it kosher or not kosher, right?
Of course.
You know the difference in skipjack tuna and albacore tuna.
Albacore.
What do you prefer, albacore or skipjack?
Albacore is from New Mexico, isn't it?
Maybe I think Albuquerque is the capital of Mexico, and albacore.
Okay.
Albacore. Which one is more expensive, albacore or skipjack? You have no idea. Albacore is triple the price of skipjack. They really only sell skipjack here in Israel. It's hard to find albacore.
Really?
Starkist makes both, but they have Starkist tuna, but it's really skipjack.
That's
albacore.
Really
there's light tuna and there's white tuna. White tuna is albacore. Light tuna is skipjack. So when you go check on the container, check for light or white. That's it. It rhymes, but you know, not the same. Itmar, we have to finish. Sichech al gabe achsadra. Now you put your schach on top of a pavilion, on top of a porch, let's say. It has psimin, it has pillars coming down from it. And these pillars are within 3 tvachim of each other, so you can say lavit, kshera. Since you say lavit, therefore it closes it off and it makes walls. We're talking about the case in our Mishnah where you have the achsadra, you have the you have the achsadra covering the middle of the chatzar, the courtyard. She'ein la psimin, Abaye amar k'shei, Rav amar psula. If it doesn't have psimin, if it doesn't have these pillars hanging down, Abaye says it's kosher, and Rava says it's possible. We're going to see why it's kosher and possible in a second. Abaye amar k'shei, Abaye says it's kosher. Amrinam pitik or yard v'sosem. Now there's no walls over here. Now apparently we can't use dofen akuma like we use in the Mishnah because dofen akuma is talking about where it was within 4 amos. Here, the actual pavilion was more than 4 amos away from the wall. So he says, Abaye says, we say pitik or yard v'sosem is din of good akis, that the actual walls, the edges of the achsadra go vertically, extend vertically down. Rav amar psula. Lo amrin pitik or yard v'sosem. He doesn't hold this concept of pitik or yard v'sosem. The edge of the roof, we look at it as it goes down. Amar le Rav Abaye. Even let's say you had 2 walls of a sukkah and you had basically you could walk straight through the sukkah, would you even say pitik or yover in that case also? On that case I agree with you. When there's only 2 walls, not 3 walls, the havalei kamaboyim are foolish. That's like an open alleyway, and therefore it ruins pitik or yover sosim. Lema Abaye v'Rava pluksa the Rav Shmuel kamifli. Let's say Abaye and Rava are arguing on similar malchok in Rab and Shmuel. Let's say you have this pavilion in an open in a bika, and let's say an open field. Rav amar mutal talta bakula. You have 4 posts, and you have the pavilion on top, but you have no walls. So Rav amar mutal talta bakula. Rav says you can carry underneath it. I'm reading particularly and come into Rosh Hashanah. You have 4 walls. So I'm reading particularly. He says basically it's not a Shisa Yachid, and therefore you can only carry within 4 amos, just like a Shisa Rab, and you can't carry more than 4 amos. Well, that will conclude today's shir. Shmuel, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye.